2023 Subaru Solterra. So we had one in the showroom, so I figured I'd show everyone. Kind of a nice opportunity to have one in the showroom. And not just any one, but this particularly is the base model. So base model Subaru Solterra. Subaru Solterra is co-designed with Toyota. In the Toyota world, they're called Toyota BZ4X. Kind of an unfortunate name, if you ask me. And with Subaru, they're called the Subaru Solterra. Some of the differences are, and there's not many, but some of the differences are slightly higher ground clearance is what I've heard with Subaru versus the Toyota, which I'm not exactly sure why that would be. But I have been hearing that the ground clearance with our Subaru is a little more. So it's 210 millimeters, or about 8.2 inches. So about half an inch lower than our usual ground clearance with Subarus. And if you're wondering about the size of the overall vehicle, it's about the same size as a Forester. So about the same trunk space, about the same space in the front and the rear. So let's check it out here. Another difference between Subaru and Toyota is that Subaru only comes as a four-wheel drive, all-wheel drive model, whereas Toyotas can be had as a front-wheel drive. Other than that, the motor is an 80 kilowatt motor. That's for the front axle and the rear axle, so 80 kilowatt each. The battery is a 72.8 kilowatt hours, 750 amps, and 355 volts. What that translates to in the all-wheel drive version is 360 kilometers of range. So this is under ideal conditions, 360. I have seen it go a bit more, but only a tiny bit more. But purchasers should be aware that in the cold, the range does go down. So we've seen that this winter, and if temperatures drop below 0 degrees Celsius or in and around there, you can expect about 15 or 20% lower range, so about 300 kilometers. In the description, I may be able to give if I remember, I'll give the conversion to miles. So again, this is the base model with the 18-inch wheels. But other things that are shared would be the charging system itself. It does have a fast charging system that will take it to near full charge in just 1 hour. Other than that, on a level 2, it would take about 8 hours. So pretty much overnight on a fast charger, a level 2, one of the ones that someone can have installed at home. Or if you're using the regular plug-in with 110 volt, you can expect about 60 kilometers overnight. So it will take a few nights to charge back to the 360 degree range. So let's take a look at the car now inside. Let's start with the trunk. This again is the base model, so it's got a manual trunk. Very generous space here. If you're used to Subarus, if you know Subarus, again, this would be similar to the trunk of a Forester. Plenty of space here, and the charger normally resides right here. There it is. These are just some rubber mats that are about to go into the car. So let's close this here. In the back, lots of space. I think even from the video you can tell how much legroom there is. And even in this base model, pretty well featured. So we have 2 USBs. A little hard to see. There they are. 2 USBs. We've got the vents in the back. I believe there are still vents underneath the seats. And we have the vents here in the console. These are cloth seats again here in the base. And people always like to see the seats and the materials zoomed in, so let me do that for you. Very comfortable, very nice and soft material to sit in. I have no problems with this cloth. Sometimes I actually prefer it to the synthetic leather and the leather. Either way, it's not a huge determining factor for me personally, although I know some people really like our StarTex material or synthetic leather because it's 100% waterproof. This is the middle armrest right here. So as you can see, very comfortable place to be in. And I think these seats are also reclining, and yes, they are. So as you can see the difference in the recline between here and here. So these seats can recline to about the same level as an economy flight in terms of reclining the back seat, or the seat back, I should say. Nice LED lights in the interior, LED lights in the exterior as well. Before I go to the front, I will show that. So these are LED headlights. And another thing that I really like with the base model in the Solterra is that they all have these sensors. We have front parking sensors as well as rear parking sensors. The base model also comes with a blind spot monitoring system. These are the rear ones. Of course, we've got the backup camera there as well. And the blind spot monitoring right here. So in terms of safety, you are really covered even with the base model. You've got the sensors front and rear, to the sides. Now let's check it out inside. For those of you who are wondering, we do not have a frunk. If you open up the hood, actually let me do it, just so that you are not left wondering exactly what it looks like. Basically, we just have a cooling system in here. And I believe this is the inverter for the motor. And coolant lines. The battery packs are cooled and heated, actually. And you do have a small battery too here for some extra accessories and other electronics. So no storage space in the front, unfortunately, but there is plenty in the back. Our charger is here on the left side, just right here. And I think this is for future use here, or for future designs for the ultra fast charger. Inside, a very beautiful design, very classy, even with the base model. Now, if you go to the mid trim level or the highest, the top trim level, you will get nicer materials. As I mentioned, you'll get the soft touch synthetic leather versus this cloth. But again, this is more than sufficient and very comfortable for anyone wanting this trim level. Another great thing is the price. The Solterra, this base model, is 55,000 Canadian dollars plus tax, so 55,000. And there's actually currently, at least, there's a $5,000 rebate from the federal government, and provincial governments can have their own rebates as well. In my province, in my state, there's an additional $4,000 rebate. So the government is incentivizing these vehicles to a good extent. In the base model, you'll get a manual seat. Of course, fully automatic headlights. You get auto high beam assist as well. So if you turn on your high beams, they'll go to low beams and high beams automatically if it senses another car coming towards you. So pretty nice design. Piano black finishes right here, which again I love. I know some people don't love it. I do. We have a very nice real leather steering wheel. So this is a leather wrapped steering wheel, even in the base model. The screen up here will be the same as all the other trim levels, and let me turn on the car now. It's funny with these electric vehicles, you never know when they're on or off. All right, so that's the main screen, just displays some information about your battery life, your range. So as you can see, it's showing 390. It's actually rated to 360, so it might be a bit optimistic, but it is fully charged right now. In the base model, at least in Canada, you're also going to get heated seats and dual zone climate control. And the system right here, it's basically optimized for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. That's one thing to note about this car. Of course, it's got your regular radio and Bluetooth selections, but as far as navigation, none of the Solterras will come with built-in navigation. It's a subscription model now, and so you can always do that. If I click on the navigation right here, it will ask me to subscribe, and then you'll get that ability. But other than you know, the phone, music, radio, those basic channels, and some vehicle information and settings and that type of configuration, other than that, I think that the idea with this car was to design it such that people have their phone connected right away. Of course, it's got wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. And so for most people, that's what will happen. They get into the car and Android Auto or Apple CarPlay will pop up, and you'll just be using your favorite navigation apps, whether it's Apple Maps or Google Maps. It is push button start. And however, I don't think that it's a proximity key in the base model. I think you still have to use the key to lock and unlock, but it is push to start. You do have a digital handbrake, digital e-brake, auto vehicle hold, and you can see a pretty nice system right here for the gearing. So to put it into park, you just press right there. You can go into reverse by shifting down and then to the left. You can see the backup camera coming on and the sensors showing right there. As I turn the wheel, it will show me the path of the vehicle. Now I'll put it back into park so that I don't crash into anything. Right, so we're in park. And it does turn on the parking brake automatically when you put it into park. So a really nice system here. In the base model, this area just has an extra USB charger and a place to put your phone or whatever. And in the higher trim levels, the mid trim level and the top, you actually get a wireless charging pad right here. Another thing that's that I personally like about electric vehicles is the ability to regenerate the battery using your brakes. So regenerative braking. So that's our button right here. It's called S pedal, or you can use the pedal shifters right here and the other side. And these guys, instead of shifting the gears up and down like they do in our gas vehicles, in this car, it's a system that will allow you to change the sensitivity of that regenerative braking. So you can use these plus or minus pedals to have the vehicle slow you down more or less when you're coasting or you're going down a hill, to charge the battery more or less. So it's kind of up to you if you want that more traditional gliding feeling like a gas vehicle, or if you prefer more of a one pedal driving with the advantage of bringing more of that energy back into the battery. So yes, you can use these pedal shifters, or you can use this what we call S pedal drive. And with the S pedal, it's very similar to these guys. It's just that that's the maximum regenerative braking power. So if you want to kind of use the full capacity of the regenerative system, you'd use the S pedal. Keep in mind, S pedal will only work once the battery has depleted a little bit. So if you've got a full charge like we do right now, if I press this, it will tell me that S pedal is temporarily unavailable. So we gotta draw the battery down a little bit. We've got to drive for a while before we can use that. So that's that. You do have the heated seats right here in the base model. And another nice thing that Subaru brought along from our other gas-powered vehicles is the X mode. X mode will make your traction even better. It's mainly meant for slow speed scenarios such as climbing, going over rougher terrain, snow, or trying to get out of a spot, like trying to get out of a snowed in parking lot or something like that, or for general off-road, light off-road use, such as a forestry road, camping, stuff like that. X mode can come in handy there. You also have different drive modes. You can go into a power mode, eco mode, or regular mode. Even in the base model, you get a self-dimming mirror, a nice dark headliner, and overall it's just a very nice place to be. You have a little bit of storage right here underneath the console, with another USB right there and a 12-volt charger. Kind of hard to show, but as you can see, there's a little bit of storage space right here, more over here. This guy that I showed, as well as the middle console with the cup holders and a deeper area right here for storage. This actually comes out. One interesting feature or lack of is no glove box anymore in the Solterra and the BZ4X. What went on there is Subaru or Toyota. This was co-designed, so one of them or both together have decided to forgo the glove compartment, and instead there's a knee airbag there for the passenger. So we've always had, with Subaru at least, a driver knee airbag that deploys right here, and now in this new model, in the Solterra, there is an airbag for the passenger as well. So that's a really nice safety feature, and I think that's better than the glove compartment, given that the car already has a good amount of storage all around. In the higher trim levels, you're also going to get a 360-degree camera and self-parking as well. So the car will actually be able to pretty impressively park itself. I may be able to show that on another video. Basically, as you're driving along beside parking spots, you'll see the parking spots kind of shown right here with the 360-degree camera. You choose which parking spots you want to go into. You let go of the steering wheel, you let go of the brake, and the car just reverses itself. It can do parallel or regular parking spot, and you can decide if you want the car to go face forward, front forward, or to back into a spot. So pretty impressive system. Of course, it's not completely necessary, so if you'd like to save, about $10,000 or at least $5,000, you can go for the base model. It has a ton of features, pretty much all the convenience features that you need. And again, I really like that for parking, you still get the rear sensors as well as the front sensors. Makes parking a breeze. So I think I'll leave it at that for now. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comment section. And again, this is the 2023 Subaru Solterra in crystal white pearl. So that wraps it up, and see you in the next video.